Wow. Everybody ready? Yep. All right. It is 7 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting to order. Let the record show that all members are present with the exception of Mr. Cornelius and Mr. Omer. At this time, we'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Okay, everyone has been provided with a copy of the minutes. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, we'll let those stand as presented. Mrs. Browning, you have claims.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the claims and payrolls as submitted.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the claims. Do I have a second from Mr. Hedrick? Anybody have any question on those? Not, all in favor, raise your right hand. 5-0. No donations this month?
No donations.
Information report.
For tonight's information report, we have two speakers. First, we'd like to introduce our project manager from Hagerman, Mr. Mike Holtkamp. He's going to provide an update to the board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the board and members of the audience. So what have we done the last 30 days? We've completed some site survey work, boundary survey work. We had a company Microware come and do some material sampling. Alton Woodzik performed the soil borings. They also did the multi-channel analysis surface waves report, which came back at Class C. I think I reported that the last meeting. We've been working on the drainage design with the local agencies and understanding their requirements and their rules and regulations. We've been working with the utility layouts and the utility companies. Big event, really the design team developed a preliminary schematic design packet that included some drawings and write-ups for each of the projects, each of the buildings, and we've been able then to start putting together cost estimates, schematic design cost estimates, which are preliminary estimates. These aren't bids and these aren't final numbers. This is still early on. We worked and presented a cash flow chart, estimated cash flow chart, so you could use that. I think Carrie was using that the most. And we continue to have the owner design meetings. You know, as I mentioned, our current thing is continue to develop that schematic design as part of the step one services and understand our cost for each item. So the next 30 days, that's really kind of what we're going to head into. And I kind of gave you a list there at the end, other events. We're scheduled to have a draft of our report to you by 9/8 and then present to the school board on 9/25. And I had some other activities there too. So we're pretty much on track with that still. Any questions?
What can you get the results for the soil boring in the sampling?
What's that?
When will you get the results
Oh,
for
we
the?
have the report and
Oh,
I
you
can
do?
share that.
Okay.
We have that report.
Yeah, the thing that I would add just to the board is, the next month is really kind of the last quarter, so to speak, of the design phase. And Scott and Tim and Jason are the board members on that committee. And I think as the thing's rounding out, there's some excitement, and Kristen, being the principal and her team, had a lot of input. So to see it come into place, we had a lot of needs, and we're working through exactly what the scope of the project's going to be. So that, there's going to be some challenging decisions there. But what we're looking at for our September board meeting, one, because me and some others will be in Arizona for the Kids at Hope, our regular board meeting, we're going to do a regular board meeting in this room at 7 o'clock. That's the meeting where we have to pass our budget, 2026 budget, and that's already been sent off to the state on the location and all that. And then what we've talked about with Mike and the rest of the design committee is to do like a work session over at the primary cafeteria at 7:30. And, we'll use Tori and our ability to advertise, but I think it's gonna be a great meeting for the community to come out. A lot of the folks that have been involved in our process going back a year and a half ago when we really started this process, to see where we're at and really kind of some exciting pieces and to have some, final input really on where we're at and what we can get accomplished. And then we would come back in October and the board would vote on the plan. And then from there, we'll be working with Mike and the Hagerman team to set a timeline for when stuff can get going.
That's right. Good summary.
Yeah, and one thing I would add, just because I noticed it in your notes here, but we've had a lot of good input from all the building principals, for work at each of their buildings, but also I think Mike's been pleasantly surprised with the way things have gone with local utilities and those sort of things, and finding out Washington's a great place to work. So we want to thank the city and their utility departments and all that for their help as well. So hopefully we'll have some things that will be very exciting at that September meeting. And Kevin kind of alluded to it, but because that's our budget approval, that's been advertised for quite some time. So we have to have that meeting here in this room, but we want to go to the primary to give a bigger room, hopefully have a bigger audience for our work session. All right, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. And then second, we'd like to introduce the Washington primary principal, Mrs. Murphy, and she's going to share a little bit about the start to the school year they've had.
Yeah. So I asked Mr. Frank if I could talk to you guys today. Usually I think he kind of approaches us and, hey, do you care to share about your building? But with staggered start this year, things just look different in our building. Mr. Peterson's been in our building as well as Mr. Frank. I've seen Mr. McCormick pop in our building here and there, and all of them have just told me it feels different, it looks different in here. The benefits that came from staggered start were more than we even realized. We had less kids crying going into the building. Our car line for drop off and for pickup was significantly reduced. We didn't have as many bus transportation issues those first couple of days of school with kindergartners riding the bus and falling asleep. Our teachers just looked more relaxed. Like, I feel like the climate and culture in our building has started off on a different foot this year than it has in the past. Teachers were able to really teach those routines and procedures. They were able to build those relationships. The office was kind of nervous about how the conversation would go with families that showed up on the wrong days. The first day, I think we had 3 families show up on the wrong day. The second day, we had 11. And we had different staff members working to contact those families. So that wasn't a huge thing. Parents weren't upset with us when we called them to come get their kids because they were there on the wrong days. So everything just went really smooth. Another thing that we did to help start our school year is we put a lot of work in April and May. So a lot of those kiddos who come to us maybe from the DMSEC preschool or from Head Start are some of our kids who may need a little bit more attention from us. And so I held a preschool collaboration and invited any local daycares and preschools. I told them about First Steps and Family Health Center and the DMSEC referral process and things that they can do to help their kids before they come to me. Because I'll do anything to help them when they're there, but we all know early intervention is better. So I tried to educate some of the preschools and daycares about that. And then we collaborated with Head Start and the DMSEC preschool, and we went and observed the kids that were coming to us, the graduates. And then we came back and divided them on who were going to be their teacher. And then in May, I gave my teachers an hour to go spend with those students that were going to be in their classrooms this year. So some of them had time to build that relationship in May before they even came to us in August. when we sat down last Thursday, I was like, all right, guys, so how did it go? Because that was when we were going to divide the classes, and we only ended up moving 4 kids. Just a couple kiddos clashed in the same room, but overall, my teachers had the time to spend so intentionally with those kids and build the relationships that they're like, they might be a tough one, but I think I can do it. I think I can get to them. I think we've started off on the right foot, and I wouldn't want to break that trust and have them move to someone else. So that was wonderful to hear that. And we had a great open house last Thursday. Parents seem to be pleased. I haven't heard anything negative. I'm sure there are things we want to change for next year, just knowing that we've done it one time and there's different things we want to improve on. But I think we told parents soon enough about staggered start that they were able to figure out daycare and childcare and just make it work. And I think some of them got maybe an extra trip to Holiday World in there with their kids. So I don't think they were upset. But it's just been a traumatic difference in our building for the better. So thank you guys for taking the chance on that program. And I hope to continue to do it in the future.
Thank you.
I guess I would say thank you guys for coming with the idea, because all we did was say yes. That was easy. All right, we'll move ahead. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on our agenda topics? All right, moving on. Personnel. No retirements.
No retirements.
We have some resignations.
Some resignations, recommending the approval of the resignations of Tanner Terry as a 7th grade head football coach, was one that was going to be split. And then Sherry Alberry, who was going to be the elementary Washington primary library assistant.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these 2 resignations. Do I have a motion for that from Mr. Hedrick, and a second from Mr. Miller? Anybody have any questions? Seeing the notes here, it looks like Mr. Terry is going to continue in a volunteer capacity.
Yeah,
So,
just he's not able to be there as much with his work schedule.
okay. All right. Well, all in favor of approval? 5-0. Leaves.
Recommending the approval for the request for a leave of absence of Gabby Abuanza Nep, who's an elementary teacher at Washington Primary from October 17th to January 26th.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the leave of absence. Do I have a motion for that? From Mr. Miller, a second from Mrs. Browning. Any questions on the leave? If not, all in favor? 5-0. Appointments.
Recommending the hire of Andrea Mazingo as a part-time arrival and dismissal aide, Ashley Santos as an elementary aide, pending her background check, Iris Batista Barco as an elementary aide, Shannon Collison as a junior high aide, Dave Harmon to teach period 0, which is essentially a time that before the start of school, strength and conditioning class. Beverly Hartz will be a sub for a leave of absence at primary, and Jeremy Palencia as a bus attendant.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these appointments. Do I have a motion for that? Mrs. Brown, second from Mr. Miller. Anybody have any questions or any reason not to approve these all at once?
So where's the part-time arrival and dismissal aide gonna be at?
Bill,
Okay.
she's not needed. I think she's is she co-op aide part of the time? So she's a co-op aide. So she's employed through the co-op as a special ed aide. And then we essentially hire her to help with the arrival and dismissal, just to have another adult around for the meal.
Okay.
All right, nobody has any other questions? All in favor of approval? 5-0. ECA appointments.
Okay, so August is always our month where we name our ECA appointments for like most of them are non-athletic. I see a few here that are athletic. So I'll just read through the list and hopefully I can get all the names right. So I'm recommending for junior high girls soccer volunteer, Nick Dahl, head 7th grade football for the split stipend, Travis Harper, football volunteer, Tanner Terry, competition dance, Callie Ziegler, junior high boys tennis, Jaden Barley, junior high cheer volunteer, Tia Collison, band director, stipend, Brandon Burris, band percussion, Brandon Burris, Patrick Keeley, Kaylee Angermeyer, Rachel Allen, band guard, Marley Burris, vocal music director, Scott Griffith, elementary music, Mike Gregory and Doug Saito, high school department chairperson, Rhonda York, Tony Bernard, Angela Bernard, Jamie Halter, Suzanne Hawthorne, Jason Johnston, Sarah Kelso, Matt Riney, Doug Eubler, Valerie Clark, senior class sponsor, Jamie Halter and Christine Myers, junior class sponsor, Ronnie Brown and Erica Andrews, sophomore class sponsor, Jennifer Peachy, freshman class sponsor, Megan Knowling, elementary head teacher, primary, Kristen McGuire, intermediate, Amy Batten, upper, Lisa Emick and Beal, Rochelle Evans, high school yearbook, Jason Smith, drama musical stipend, Scott Griffith, high school art club, Jennifer Peachy, high school varsity dance, Lily Jones, competition dance, Callie Ziegler, ICC, that's the International Club, Lisa Mittleiter, junior high head academic bowl, Elizabeth Hill, junior high academic bowl, Jessica Hadley and Delaney Berger, elementary academic bowl for the spelling and math teams. The upper math is Brett Madison, upper math Kylie Hombre, upper math Quentin Myers, upper math Brittany Walls, upper spelling Joe Roach, upper spelling Jessica Butcher, intermediate math Megan Riley, intermediate math Jordan Bennington. Academic competition coordinator for the high school and junior high, Christine Myers. For the elementary, Julie Wadsworth. High school academic bowl, Jamie Halter, Suzanne Hawthorne, Jaden Barley, Christine Myers, and Jennifer Peachy. High school spell bowl, Christine Myers. Elementary, Just Say No Club. At the upper, Kelly Miller and Brittany Walls. High school STEM, Jaden Barley and Joe Furman. High school science club sponsor, Valerie Clark. Junior high and elementary STEM for the junior high, Tamara Delisle. The primary, Emily Werlin and Carrie Bushy. Intermediate, Ashley Dubon. High school dual credit, Angela Bernard, Joe Furman, Vivian Galando, Brian Hancock, Lori Hancock, Daphne Holland, Christine Myers, Rhonda York, and Matt Riney. Junior high beta, Jessica Scarlett. High school beta, Jaden Barley and Sarah Kelso. Tech director for the auditorium, Scott Griffith. High school student council, Courtney Memmering and Sydney Brooks. Junior high student council, Liz Hill. Elementary student council, intermediate, Christy Newkirk. Upper, Joe Roach and Bailey Green. Beal, Rochelle Evans, and Mike Mercer. ROTC rifle team, Thomas Sparks. ROTC drill team, Ronnie Brown. DECA, Evan Stoll. Business Professionals of America, Brian Hancock. The archery teams for the high school, Ronnie Brown. Junior high, Anthony Orinder. And at the upper, Ray Arvin and Quentin Myers. The winter music director, Brandon Burris. The winter music assistant director, Patrick Keeley. The winter guard director, Marley Burris. High school head robotics, Matt Riney. High school assistant robotics, Zach Lacey, Jake Journal, and Phil Wally. Junior high head robotics, Tamara Delisle. Junior high assistant robotics, Patty Allen. Washington upper head robotics, Lisa Emick. Washington upper assistant robotics, Caitlin Mincy. Washington intermediate robotics, Ashley Dubon. And Washington Beal robotics, Flo Lloyd.
Good job.
So
Didn't even miss any.
I had a couple drinks.
Yeah.
He couldn't, so I took a point.
No, it's great to see so many of our staff, and other, we have a few community members kind of dotted in there, but a lot of participation, to help us have such a great ECA offering to all of our kids. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, before we do the motions, anybody have any reason to split this list at all? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the ECA appointments. Mr. Hedrick, second from Mr. Miller. And anybody have any questions? If not, all in favor of approval? 5-0. All right, any other?
No other,
No old business?
no old business.
New business. Looks like we're doing a second reading of the policy updates.
So the first item on the agenda tonight is the policy updates. It's the second reading of the grouping of Neola policy updates that we started back in July. And this was an update that Neola sent to us and other districts there in May, of kind of a variety of updates to policies. So I'm approving, with tonight being the second reading, that we approve those. And then basically, once those are approved, I let Neola know, and it takes a few weeks for them to get them updated on the website.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the first batch of policy updates from Neola. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Miller, second from Mr. Hedrick. Do I have any questions on this batch of policy updates? If not, all in favor of approval? 5-0. Another batch of policy updates for the first reading.
So the second item is a batch of policy updates that Neola sent to us in early July. And this one's really attending to the new state legislation to keep us compliant with the laws that were updated as of July 1. So, as an admin team, we're following the laws and being compliant. And this just begins the process so that we update our policies, and our policies are compliant to what the state of Indiana wants them to say. So this is just a first reading tonight.
No action here other than the first reading, so
Yeah.
we can move on to the next one.
Third item here, so this is actually related to a new Indiana law. School districts in Indiana are required to have their curriculum board approved. That's being used on any classes related to human sexuality. So we did provide a kind of an outline and a list of everything. Mr. Peterson worked with the principals and the teachers to make sure we were accumulating everything, and things beyond the textbook, like links to videos and supplemental materials. And so all of that is there for you.
On the copy that you have, the links are live. Just be warned, they're graphic. When we post this on the website, none of the links will be live. There'll be instructions that if parents want to view the material, then they can make an appointment with the principal. But for your review and for your purposes, they are live.
Okay. So, assuming you're recommending we approve this.
Recommending the list that's been provided to you, that's what we'll be using, that is board approved.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the policies on human sexuality curriculum. Did I do that? Do I have a motion to approve? From Mr. Miller, a second from Mrs. Browning. Anybody have any questions on that? I think the one comment I would actually make is looking through that, and it's very clear in every building, parental consent to participate is required. So we're not trying to do anything behind anybody's back or anything regarding that. So that was the thing that stuck out to me is when reviewing those policies.
So they have to have consent before they allow them, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and
I will comment. I think I can think here locally, we've had that in that sign off sheet from parents from way back in the day, so it shouldn't be anything new.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's anything new. I just think it's worthy of noting, if anybody has any question of the fact that it's being taught in school or whatever, that they signed something to approve that to happen. So. All right. If there's nothing else, all in favor of approval? 5-0. And thanks for putting all that together, Mr. Peterson. Appreciate that. I know that was a new policy that we had to make happen.
Yeah.
All right.
And did I warn you some of those links are graphic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So looks like our K-5 program policy.
Yeah, shared with you something that Mrs. Murphy and her team have drafted to have the K-5 program. The K-5 program is our new program this year. It's going to be taught by Mrs. Elsie, and it's essentially a 2-year kindergarten program. And so, in talking with Mrs. Murphy, we just felt like we needed some policy that would be even better if the board approved, just to provide some guidelines on age and that sort of thing as we look to enroll students in that class and who's really the appropriate type of kid in that class. Do you want to add anything to that, Mrs. Murphy? Or? Okay. Okay.
Okay. I have a recommendation to approve the K-5 program policy. Motion for that. Mr. Hedrick, second from Mr. McCormick. Do I have any questions on that? One question I had is the number of students, did that work out the way you hoped it would, or?
We're at 14 right now. We haven't, the policy is gonna help us find the kiddos, but I think parents just need to see the program and see the benefits that it's gonna have. We're actually targeting this class for one of my goals for my principal goal, and then a class reduction goal as well. And so being very intentional about the academic progress, the social and progress. And I think when we see that we'll have success in kindergarten, where if they were in the kindergarten right now, I don't know that we would see as many gains. So it's just gonna allow them that time.
Excellent. Excellent. Good deal. All right. Are any other questions? All in favor of approval? 5-0. All right. Any other?
No other.
Okay. Do we have anybody signed up on our non-agenda topics to speak? All right. Move on to information items.
Just a few things to note there. So the annual budget hearing's been set for Thursday, September 4th at noon. This is just the opportunity that we have to provide by law for the public to come and make comments on the proposed budget, which I believe can be found on our website now. We were gonna check just to make sure we had at least 4 that could be here that day. Are you planning?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I should be.
Gary,
Yeah.
Tim might, no,
I prefer if I don't have to, somebody has to make it, that'd be great.
you're here.
Question.
So we'll just need to check with Kyle and Jason.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get that.
If not, let me know.
I would think.
It's a Thursday, right?
One of them, sure.
They've got flexible.
It's a Thursday. Yeah, Jason will be able to do it.
They're a mile away.
Oh.
He's off on Thursday, so he should be
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
able. I mean, off, I think he goes.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
And then, next regular board meeting will be on September 25th. So that's, just make note, that's a week later than what we normally meet. So that's that 4th Thursday. The 7 o'clock meeting will be the regular board meeting, will be in this room, where we'll complete basically the business of the board, which the big item that night will be the approval of the 2026 budget. And then we'll plan on having a work session at 7:30, and we'll get that advertised and posted and everything at the Washington Primary Building in the cafeteria, and it'll be the Hagerman and Ratio team presenting to the board and the community about basically the proposal of what can be accomplished with our project. I think that's everything. The only other thing, we're kind of at that point in August where a lot of our athletic teams were having their first competitions this week. I think our golf team, girls golf teams already had some big time success, winning some, like a big tournament last weekend. And so just go Hatchets to all the grade level various teams that are competing this week and into next week.
Definitely. All right. Does anybody else have anything to bring before the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn from Mr. Hedrick, second from Mr. Miller. All in favor? 5-0. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Kevin, what time are you planning on the work session?